So this is 6.5b, elementary algebra, factoring a general review, continuing with going over some of these factoring things that we've already done. We're on example 6 now. And there we go. So what we're looking at first is if we can factor anything out. Do we have anything that's common to each one of these? Well, yeah, we got quite a bit. We can factor out a 2. And I'm just going to write what I have left here, just so we do it one step at a time. As you get going, you'll probably be able to factor out more than just 2. You can factor out the letters at the same time, but it kind of helps you not make so many mistakes. Alright, we've got an A there, an A there, and an A there. So again, I'm just going to do it one little bit at a time. Now I look at the smallest b, because I've got a b there, a b there, and a b there. That's the smallest one, so I end up with 2ab cubed. Left with a b squared there, left with a b, just a b there, and a b cubed. I took the whole thing out, so I'm left with a 1 there. Alright, so are there two numbers that I can multiply together that give me 1 and added give me 4? Well, the only two numbers that multiplied together give me 1 is 1 times 1, right? And I add those, I do not get the 4. So I'm in kind of a little pickle there. Well, that means that I'm done. I mean, it's factored as far as it can go. You can't go any further. So if you're doing everything right and it doesn't factor down, it just means it can't be. So you are done at that point. So that makes example number 6 not so terribly difficult, but the hard part is just remembering that when you get to that point, you're done. Alright, so here's 4 terms. And remember, if you're given more than 3 terms, you're usually going to try to factor this by grouping. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to group these first 2 and group these 2. And I notice here, and if you're grouping and there's nothing common, there's nothing you can factor out, then the grouping doesn't do any good. So sometimes you have to rearrange your numbers so that you can group. So let's say, for instance, I looked at this and it's like, oh, I can't group any of these. I can't group this in anything there. So you might want to look at it and go, oh, well, there's a y here and a y here. So I'm going to rewrite it this way. Now I can group these 2, okay, or I've got something common there. Okay, now if you can group without switching things around, do so, but you can switch things around so that you can get your grouping together. In this one, we didn't have to do that. We could have left it the other way and grouped. You'd get the right answer, the same answer either way, but this is just to show that it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's with me switching them around. Let's do the same problem over here without switching anything around. So let's group these 2 with these 2. And I can factor out an x, and I'm left with a y plus 8. I can factor out a 3, and I'm left with a y plus 8. And I get x plus 3 and y plus 8. So notice what we've got here. This and this are the same. And I grouped differently here than I did here. I grouped the x, y, and the 3y over here, and I grouped the x, y, and the 8x over here. So it doesn't matter what order these are in. Just group them so that you can pull things out. Like here we pulled out an x, or here we pulled out a y. You're going to get the same answer regardless. Alright, so that's it for 6.5 lecture. Let's look at some of the problem sets here and just see if I can help you with something. One's like number 30, sometimes can throw you, and that is a 3a cubed b squared. That's a cubed. That's not a cube. Okay, so there's the whole problem written out. Now the biggest thing again, you're going to see if you can pull things out. I can pull a 3 out. That leaves me with a cubed b squared plus 5. Okay, let's see, I've got an A and an A and an A. This is the smallest A, so I can just pull one out. Okay, b squared, b squared, b squared. I can pull that b squared out. Remember, when that goes away, it becomes 1. Now we can just look at that. Are there two numbers I can multiply together to give me 1, added, give me 5? No, there's not. So, that point, I'm done. So even though 63 looks like, oh my goodness, let's factor things out of here first. So let's look at the numbers. What's common to 12, 36, and 27? Well, 27 kind of throws a wrench in there because it's an odd number. Because I was going to say 12 goes into 12, 12 goes into 36, but the only thing common to all of those is 3. So that leaves me with that. Okay, let's look at the letters. Let's look at my x's. I got 4 there, 3 there, 2 there. So the smallest one is a 2. Nope. Y to the 4th. The x goes away completely there. Alright, let's look at the y's. I've got a 2, a 3, and a 4. So the smallest one is the 2. Okay. Now you'll notice this is a perfect square trinomial. I can take the square root of that, or I can take two numbers and multiply them together and get that. Two numbers multiplied together and get that. And I take this sign and put them there, square it, and take that and bring it down, and I'm good. Okay, so it's just following the rules. It's just going through these, and even though some of them look a little stinky here, I don't know why I said stinky, but anyway, they're still doable, just one step at a time, and I really suggest you use the information that we went over on page 417, the how-to factor a polynomial. That should really help you as far as making sure you do these correctly. So that's it for 6.5.